It was already there, before us. No launch, no records, still orbiting. In the early 1950s, the world stood at the edge of a new era, but not the one we remember. This was a time before satellites, before space agencies, before humanity had even proven it could reach beyond the atmosphere. There was no NASA yet, no rockets capable of placing anything into orbit, no technology that could keep an object circling the Earth. And yet, something already was. Astronomers working in observatories across the world began noticing irregularities in their readings. At first, it was subtle. A signal that didn't match known patterns, a point of light that didn't behave like a star or a meteor. It didn't fade, it didn't burn out, it didn't fall. It stayed, night after night. It returned to the same position in the sky. Tracking data began to form a pattern, not random movement, not natural motion, a controlled path, an orbit. At first it was dismissed. Equipment malfunction, human error, signal interference. But then something changed. Other observatories began reporting the same object. Different countries, different instruments, same trajectory, same behavior. The data aligned too perfectly to ignore. Whatever this object was, it wasn't a mistake, and it wasn't natural. Because natural objects don't maintain stable orbit without losing altitude or drifting away. This one didn't. It moved with precision, consistency, intent. And the most disturbing part, no nation claimed it. Not the United States, not the Soviet Union. No experiment, no classified mission, no test flight. Nothing had been launched. But something was already up there. The more they studied it, the more impossible it became. Maintaining orbit isn't simple. It requires speed, balance, and precise calculation. Too slow, and the object falls back to Earth. Too fast, and it escapes into space. There is no room for error. And yet, this object showed none. Its path remained stable, perfectly stable. It didn't drift, it didn't wobble, it didn't decay. It moved like something designed to be there, which raised a question no one could answer. How? Because in the early 1950s, humanity simply did not have that capability. The first successful artificial satellite, Sputnik 1, wouldn't be launched until 1957, years after these sightings began. Before that, orbit was theory, not reality. And yet, this object existed as if the technology already did. Some reports described subtle adjustments in its motion, not large movements, but small corrections, as if it were actively maintaining its position, not drifting, not falling, holding itself exactly where it needed to be. That's not something debris can do. That's not something nature produces. That requires control, which leads to only two possibilities. Either history is incomplete, or something reached orbit before we ever could. At first, the data spread quietly, between observatories, between researchers, between people who understood what they were looking at. But then, something changed. The reports didn't just slow down, they stopped. What had once been discussed openly became restricted. What had once been recorded became inaccessible. And what had once been questioned was no longer acknowledged at all. Officially, nothing had ever been detected. No unknown object, no unexplained orbit, no anomaly. But that doesn't mean it disappeared, because the people who saw it didn't forget. Some later described being told to stop tracking it, to stop documenting it, to stop asking questions. No explanation, no justification, just silence. Which raises a far more disturbing question. Why shut it down if it wasn't real? During the Cold War, anything even remotely unusual in the sky triggered immediate investigation. Unknown aircraft were tracked, missiles were monitored, even false alarms were taken seriously. So why not this? Why was there no escalation, no interception attempt, no close-range observation, no effort to identify it, not even a public denial strong enough to close the case? Instead, the response was different, quieter, almost controlled, as if acknowledging it would create a bigger problem than ignoring it. And that leads to a possibility most people don't consider. What if the silence wasn't about hiding something unknown, but about avoiding something already understood? Because if they knew what it was and chose not to act, then the silence isn't just suspicious, it's intentional. Today, we track everything in orbit. Thousands of satellites circle the Earth at all times. Every object is cataloged. Every movement is monitored. At least, that's what we're told. But tracking systems are only as complete as the data they include. And not everything is always included, because the original object was never officially added, never confirmed, never explained. It simply became something that didn't exist on paper. But the idea never disappeared, because patterns don't vanish just because records do. An object appearing before it should, maintaining orbit without explanation, and then being quietly erased from discussion. That pattern doesn't resolve, it lingers. Some believe it was a classified experiment. Technology developed far ahead of its time, tested in secrecy, then buried. Others suggest something else entirely. Not a mistake, not a misidentification, but something that didn't originate here at all. Something that didn't need to be launched because it was already present. But the most unsettling possibility isn't about origin, it's about purpose. Because if an object has been in orbit since 1950, undetected, unchallenged, and uninterrupted, then it hasn't just been surviving, it's been operating, observing, recording, watching, not for days, not for years, for decades. And if that's true, then the question isn't whether it exists. The question is, what has it been watching all this time? It's still there, still watching,